It's called EPIC, the Exotic Pet Industry Conference, and it's free to register at epic.live. EPIC is over 20 special guests across 16 sessions covering industry trends, marketing, branding, podcasting, and YouTube. EPIC is for pet keepers and breeders. It's for gecko and invert lovers. It's for snake and spider lovers. EPIC is for anyone who enjoys these amazing animals. Did I mention it's free? Register now at epic.live.
Yeah. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Hey, show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me.
Welcome to Show Me Your Rack. Lace has a great salute. It's fantastic. We're pretending that we're still in the same room together.
Don't make
We're
me
not
cry.
sad. I'm not gonna make you cry. There's no crying.
Bull, I cry a lot.
Yeah. We were in the same room with this person for 2 whole days. And I've got to say, this person, they're pretty epic.
There is a lot of
Right?
epic. There's a lot of epic
Yeah.
stuff going on in the world right now. This
They've got
fella
really good-
particularly is pretty
Got
dang
really
epic.
good style.
Ooh, yeah, because he was running around Georgia in this like super awesome red line hoodie. You literally couldn't miss him. You could find him. You could pick him out of an epic lineup.
You could pick him out of an epic lineup. Everybody's got to know who we're talking about now. We're just a little bit excited about this because this is our first non-ball python person, which we love you ball python people because we are you, but this is exciting.
This is about to get lit for sure.
So we're just going to bring him out because he needs no introduction more from us. It's Chris.
Oh my gosh, I was busted up back here. That was absolutely hilarious. Here's my homage to snakes. The center of my logo is still a snake.
Heck yeah.
It'll stay there for a bit. You remember the patch thing that Redline did a couple years ago where you make your patch and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
I literally made this banner behind me, and then at first I wasn't going to do the patch thing because it was like early in the year, and then I saw Portuguese Python's patch, Danny and Renee's,
Mhm.
the mustache, and
Shout
I
out to
go,
them.
oh my goodness, I have to make one. So then I started
Mhm.
looking and doing something. So then I made a gecko with a bunch of hair, which I don't know if that makes sense anymore, but it does for me.
It still does.
It tells a story, and I would love for that gecko to be right here because it was a really awesome thing that we did. But I paid like $600 for this banner, and 2 weeks later, I'm not changing it and doing it all over again. So it's gonna ride out for a little bit, and then maybe the next time it gets revamped or something like that.
We'll take donations
so, yeah.
for a new updated banner whenever you're ready.
Hilarious. Oh my gosh. Speaking of banners, I don't think it came up when I watched Ghost Constrictor, Zach and Rosa Morena's episode and stuff. But have you seen their display? Their banner.
Their stuff is amazing.
It's so cool. Like
Zero
it lights
shortcuts
up,
with those guys.
It lights up. It looks really good. When they set it up next to us in the fall at Tinley, I said, well, Des, that's my oldest son. I go, let's take ours down because that looks way better than whatever this is behind us.
The whole time they were on the live with us, I was like, man, that's got to be like a green screen behind them. It's got to be. And then I was like,
That's
no,
funny.
that is their legit banner. They look
It's
that
real.
good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
real.
no, that's funny. I stole their idea and took this because I'm upstairs because downstairs is a little chilly, like in the office section, and I didn't want to be cold. It's been like gross here. Like we haven't had school all week because it's been so cold.
Where are you at?
Where are you at?
Kansas City.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Are you
Definitely.
okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Do we need to do a wellness check?
No school
We're
all
good.
week. That can be some serious business right there.
Well, so our oldest, we homeschool him, so he's home all the time. And then our youngest, this afternoon, she's like, is it time to I go to school? I'm like, I don't know. And let me see. Let me check real time. Has there been a message from school? it's 7 o'clock, so they've been pretty good at sending out the message around 6. So I think she'll go to school tomorrow. So
Woo! Back
yeah,
for Friday.
back for Friday, off for the
Lucky
weekend.
girl. Lucky girl.
Yeah,
That's
No,
terrible.
we're-
Just give it to her.
that's what I've told my wife. I'm like, just start next week. Next week is supposed. Like, I think that tomorrow's the highest 24, which is the highest it's been all week. It's been like single digits and negatives here, which is pretty cold for Kansas City. I don't mind a good like 20 to 30, but I understand that's winter and that's where I live at. But that other stuff, like it's not even. I don't even want to go outside. Like it's nope.
That makes
Yeah.
your lungs hurt. That's not a fun cold at all.
No. Mm-mm.
The worst is when it's like that and it's like you get the wind to really just give it that extra kiss of shit.
This is all you see of me then.
Then we really wouldn't know. The hair's gone, your smile's gone. We have no
Yep.
idea who you are.
That's great. Oh.
Could be awful.
Did you guys have a good time at the Southeast Reptile Expo?
Did not want it to end. I was getting ready to petition Bob to add a third day and make you all stay longer. So
That's funny.
We were.
Those weekends happen and it's like, oh, it's Sunday already. How did it become Sunday already? And then you just kind of watch time go by, and like it was a little slower on Sunday, which made it nice to go like visit and get pictures and talk to people and go see people. Since this was our second show of the year, because our first show was Super Show in California.
Cool.
But then as far as like seeing people that I see throughout the year vending shows together and stuff like that, like that show was the first show of me seeing most of the people that we vend with and see regularly on big show weekends and stuff like that. So it was good to catch up with everybody and see them, because possibly I hadn't seen them since maybe the All-American show in Kansas City, but most likely either St. Louis or Tinley, and those were November and October, and that was a minute ago.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, Tinley's like Midwesty kind of the central location, right? So you typically you do Tinley a lot, yeah.
Yeah, no. Tinley is what's nice. Tinley is a 7-hour and like 30-minute drive, 8 hours, whatever. And then the same for the Dallas show, since we're like right smack dab in the middle. They're both kind of the same drive, which makes it really nice, but also then makes it like I think I'd like to move a little farther south where it's warmer. Back to our weather theme for some odd reason, but that would then make the drive to Tinley like 16 hours or longer or something like that. And that I don't want to be in the car that long.
What area are you thinking about moving?
I don't know. Like, me and some friends have shopped it and talked about it, and like you always say you want to move, but you never do. Like you just like Kansas City's not bad. Like it's very affordable. I've lived most of my life in and around the city. But at the same time, like I would love to be able, like we have tortoises and we have different things that I would love to be able to have them outside for longer periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like the Texas area. I think that would be great. Arizona would be pretty cool too. But if I moved to Arizona, like other than going to Super Show in California, everything else would be like a day's drive away, which sounds awful. I've had some people float some Tennessee ideas out there. I'd have to look at their weather a little bit more, because it feels like to me you're going straight across the country.
Yeah.
And I don't think the climate change would be that great, but and then like my sister, she's lived out in the Carolinas, North and South, and most of the times out there it's pretty nice. When I look at her weather and talk to her and stuff like that. I did call her yesterday because it was snowing there, so I gave her like a haha. That's what you get.
Well, Lace would really like you to move to Texas.
I was about to say my vote's for Texas for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Just saying.
What part of Texas you in?
I'm in Fort Worth.
Okay, right on.
Yeah. But I mean, everything in Texas is very, very, very overpriced.
Yeah.
At least for me personally, I feel like it's cray. But I mean, I'm sure there are, other parts, but I want you in Fort Worth.
Right. Yeah, no. I think if we did, it would have to be like I'd want to live in like the Dallas surrounding area, some of those communities or whatever. I have a sister-in-law that lives in the North Dallas area, but then I think Dallas is Obviously, it gets a little cold there sometimes, every now and then. But I don't want to go like Houston because I don't want hurricane stuff. I don't want to deal with that.
Don't do Houston. It is the armpit of Texas. The humidity is great,
Oh, I
but
hate humidity as it is. So yeah,
exactly. Yeah. My girlfriend's from Houston, and no, I stay home
yeah.
when she visits. I'm like, "No, I'm cool."
That's
Nobody
great.
wants to live in an armpit.
Yeah,
Wants-
and I don't want to
Nobody.
live in
No.
West Texas either because that's just gross.
Nothing.
I drove through it one time, heading home from Super Show because there was like an ice storm going on in the Midwest, and it literally, the Dust Bowl
Yeah.
is the most fitting name they've ever given something ever in its life. Like I saw more tumbleweeds than cars,
Yeah.
and it wasn't foggy; it was dusty the whole time driving through there.
And you will see nothing but tumbleweeds and one lane roads, oil filled people,
Yep.
and cops randomly just whoa, they'll grab you out there, buddy, and you don't see them coming. They hide behind the tumbleweeds.
They
You're
hide
like,
behind
where
them.
in the fart did you come from, dog?
That's
And
great.
it's like, have a good day, bitch. No,
That was fantastic.
it's true. It's true. But
Yeah, so
yeah,
that's
you should move over here. But I will say right now, Texas is your nipples are falling off. It is freezing
right.
here right now.
Well, see, it would be freezing, but I would be like, this is warm to me. The part that would annoy me if I moved somewhere and then inclement weather happened is that the whole town shuts down or people freak out. I'm like, what are you freaking out about? Like, this is nothing.
Right.
Oh, wait,
Right.
I live with a bunch of people that aren't used to this or haven't been used to this in a long, long time. And so, got you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Not to derail your podcast and get talking about weather and stuff like that. I am so sorry.
No, I
But
mean
we're having
it
fun.
always happens. We need to know. We need to know what it feels like when you go outside, because I mean that's your place, and
Yeah, no,
we
for
need to know
sure.
a little bit
And
about
so,
where you're
like,
from.
haven't really like thrown any darts at the map, just kind of doing some intuitive research and putting feelers out there and kind of just gathering some information that maybe one day that the whole Epic Style family moves a little somewhere else.
And then they get a new banner.
Yeah, we get a new banner. Yeah. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Hope
I
so.
like the banner. I love the banner.
Thank you.
I think it's really nice.
Yeah, it's going.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
Oh, this way. Oh, there
The
we
little
go.
red line on there, little Morphe mark. Love that.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about yourself, Chris, about the things you keep and breed and
Yeah. So our main focus is Leachianus geckos. That started in 2019. Yeah, 2019. I bought my first geckos, just as pets. Just they were super cool. When I first saw them, I thought they were ugly, which is hilarious now that that's what I focus on.
Yeah.
But fell in love with them after seeing them a few times. Got to see an adult and actually had one for like a week that we cared for before we passed it on to a friend and stuff like that. After it left, I told my wife, I want to buy one of those. And so I went on my search and I found actually somebody local. His name is Connor with Reptizilla, and he lives from the Kansas City area. Had posted a few things in the reptile group, and I think I saw a couple maybe on like when you post on Craigslist for stuff back in the day, and reached out to him and talked back and forth and worked out a deal and ended up picking up 2 geckos from him as little babies. And lo and behold,
Man.
fast forward a year later, I have 7 of them. I had 1, 2, 3. I bought 4, 5 that were all like babies or like juveniles, and then around the May time frame I went back to Connor and I was like, hey, do you happen to have any sub-adults or adults that aren't paired up that you'd be interested in selling and stuff? And we worked out a deal there, and I bought my first 2 pair of leachies first pair of leachies, and started the mission to see if I could breed Leachianus geckos. And before I went full diving into that section of it. And so then had probably roughly 70 ball pythons at the time and a bunch of hatchlings, probably probably mid 20s on like adult pairs and stuff like that I had gotten good deals on or bought at the time, and slowly started selling those things off to save money or put money aside for more gecko purchases as I started to enjoy, and my wife started to enjoy it. So that she didn't mind the snakes, but her helping out in the snake department was far and few between. If I needed a hand, like cleaning tubs, or hey, could you happen to hold the snake real quick, or keep an eye on it? Like, I'm gonna click and then go from there. But then I noticed, like with feeding geckos, she enjoyed doing that, and she'd do this and this. I'm like, well, why don't I just do this? You seem to enjoy it better. And if you enjoy it, that means I'm going to enjoy it more. And I might be able to get some extra stuff too. Be like, pretty please, can I get this gecko, or could we get this? It'd be really good for us. I'm no dummy. I realized that there was potential to play my cards in a different field.
Well played. Oh, you like these? There's 15 on the way.
Strategy and love.
Yeah, well, like my third gecko, I hid it from her for like 5 months, 6 months, or something like that. I bought it as a birthday gift. I was working our local reptile show, which that's kind of where I cut my teeth at. I worked for the Cold Blooded Expo there. They have shows here, Minnesota, Chicago, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa at the time. I think they just do Tulsa now. And then like Colorado, Iowa, Nebraska, stuff like that. Just small little great expos. And that's where we found our local expo, and then going there over and over again, got to form a relationship with the person who puts it on. And eventually one thing led to another, and I got to help them out. I got to then like drive product to different shows, and I'm really thankful for that opportunity. Like it was like a reptile internship, if you don't mind me. So like, that's the best way to look at it. Getting to meet other vendors, being able to travel and see different things like that, understanding different reptiles and their needs and their setups, and then that forcing me or intriguing me to watch different videos about care and look up different things. So when customers came to the table, to help them out and give them proper information and proper guidance, so that they go home and their animal that they picked up from somebody else or picked up from us or whatever was off to a good start on that part of it. So that was really a blast, and it was very helpful from reptile standpoint. And then when I went to start my own business, like the business idea of when I was able to pick his brain and talk to him and just things that were business savvy, because like my degree's in criminal justice, not business based. And so small things like that were very helpful in that process of thinking as an entrepreneur in that aspect and stuff. So yeah.
I'm sorry for talking shit about the cops.
No. Oh, you're good. It's a time ago. Like,
that's awesome. So you had to like figure it out real time, like before you officially were like, okay, I'm all in on this. You had
it was like
guidance.
Yeah, definitely. Like I got to kind of set back and learn and enjoy and because before 2015, because we got a bearded dragon for Dez's birthday when he turned 5. So before 2015, I kept some anoles and a couple little lizards when I was a kid, like when I was in like middle school. Yeah. Outside of that, like my extent of reptiles was at my grandparents, like flipping rocks and turning over things and going down the creek and looking at that. Outside of that, I didn't know this whole world existed. I was completely oblivious to it. Wish I would have found out about this whole side of reptile shows and all that stuff when I was in high school or, in college or whatever. It was like, because it's been a blessing. I've met so many great people. And then just being able to have fun and see what people are doing and their adventures and their time is really cool on that part of it. So I say I'm still super young into reptiles, because like this fall will be our 10th year of just keeping reptiles as a family ourselves. And then this July will be our fourth year of technically being a business to the government.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Congrats. Yeah. That's a huge accomplishment in its own.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no. And then locally here in Kansas City, the Kansas City area, we do birthday parties, educational events, setting up at like farmers markets or like your little like downtown like trick-or-treating things or spring things or what, just bringing out reptiles and like sharing our passion and showing that, hey, you know, like if this is something you like and enjoy, like, I mean, you don't have to be crazy like us and have a bunch of reptiles. You can have one and live responsibly, I guess. Like,
No, you can't.
That's not living on the edge enough.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so sharing that with others. We do library programs. We're getting ready to start our spring programs with our local libraries here in the next couple of weeks. That'll run from March to May throughout the city. Those are probably some of my funner things to do. They're short and simple, compact, a lot of hands-on. They can touch the reptiles, ask questions. And so it's fun seeing the kids enjoy it, as they don't know fear. Like they might think they know fear, but it's just something that you've either seen on TV or your parents say, don't touch that, or that's, you know, that's dangerous or whatever on that part of it. But my favorite part are like when the adults get involved, because, you know, whether you're 25 or you're 53, 47, whatever it is, maybe you've had this thing like snakes aren't your thing, or lizards or reptiles, like the unknown, the fear of the unknown, or this and that, like, and when I see those people come out of their shell and they want to touch, or I'm at a party or an event and they want to hold or something like that, like that makes me really happy, because then I've done a really good job in showcasing and talking about and letting them feel comfortable in a space in where they could be like vulnerable, I guess, or whatever, like they're at their nerves or tensions high and stuff like that. So those are probably like some of my favorite experiences, like in that case, for that. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at like a current photo that you more recently posted, and these things are just like little baby dinosaurs, man.
Oh, they super are. They look like little dinosaurs when they hatch out.
Of course I want one. Of course I want one now, Nikki.
Now you do want one. I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, it's inevitable, right? I mean, there's stuff all the time. It's like, oh, I wish I could. How would I fit this in here? Like me, like I'm running out of room for certain things. Like big animals, I'm at my limit right now. I can't get any more big animals. And so that is the tricky part. Little things like, yes, I have several. I do have a couple racks, which I thought it was funny. Like the main thing I'm sharing from, like I repurposed an old melamine rack when I first got into snakes. That's my hatchling rack and grow up rack a little bit for my lychees. And then I have a old bookcase and stuff like that, transition for like my grow outs and holdbacks on that part. And then I have some lovely cages that are from Zach and Rose when they had their cage company. And then I also have I like the 200 quart totes. They just hold the humidity in there better. They can stack on each other, make it really nice on that part of it. And then I run like a 4-man's like bioactive in there. Like it's peat moss, Reptichip, sphagnum moss, all mixed together. And then I let isopods go in there and stuff on that part of it. And so isopods. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about okay, so those are pretty much your main focus, and I'm fascinated. And again, this is why I love the show, because I'm like, tell me everything you know. I'm fascinated. Tell me everything.
I want it all.
And I'm gonna throw out a bunch of questions, and Nikki's going to remember my questions, but I gotta get them out.
Nope, go ahead.
Husbandry on these things. One, they look like, you're talking about humidity and such. They look like they want something drier than a nun's, who, but they like humidity. I've got to know about know about the husbandry. And I really want to know like what breeding these is like.
Okay, so husbandry and breeding. All right, so I'll start with husbandry first. We'll work our way from babies to adults, just to keep it simple on that part. So the cool thing about them where like you have like heat tape or you have to do things to heat up your cold-blooded animals, just like I have cold-blooded animals. Well, my geckos, they like room temperature. I guess you could have. I have a friend that has an ambient snake room. Our gecko room downstairs is ambient. We have a couple different heaters and fans pushing air around there. I try to strive for like a 74 to 77 on our little Govee thermostat things that we can read from our phone to make sure everything's well. Have them placed in a couple different spots around the room.
Nice.
I have my sensors set to go off if it gets above 85 and below 65. I'll also show you that I am like super nutty about this.
I love those Govies, man.
It's usually a really good selling point for me too when I'm at shows, and I don't know how well it'll show up. Well, that's probably not going to show up. Oh well, these three right here. Why? Oh, it's because it's daylight. If it was dark, if they were in the northern hemisphere, it'd be dark right now. But they're in the southern hemisphere because it's New Caledonia, and right now in New Caledonia it's 84, 82, and 88 on a couple different islands. And so I just kind of have this on here just to. I'm kind of curious. What's going on over there today? What's it like? You know.
So that's where they're from.
Yeah, they're from. So they're Leachianus geckos, your crested
great.
geckos, your Serothonorums, your Chihuahuas. So if my hand's Australia, I might point to this wrong because it's on the screen. I think I'll go this way. I think I'll go the opposite way. But it's to the northeast. It's New Caledonia. It's like 15 to 17 islands that make up that archipelago. If you ever get a second or time or whatever, peruse over to Dave Kaufman's channel. He has some really amazing videos from like 5-6 years ago from his time over in New Caledonia. Like crystal clear blue, like you can see your feet in it. Like it's amazing. And stuff like that. So that was really cool. But yeah, that's where they're from, is where you'd find them in the wild. I would love to adventure over there and like just go walk through some forestry and do some field herping. Obviously, you can't collect anything and stuff like that, but still, it'd be pretty sweet to see a species that you work with, like in the wild. Like it's pretty cool.
That's next level.
Yeah. The other piece of that is I'd love to own a gecko. Like there are geckos still alive that were field collected. Which I like. Field collected is a very nice word, like over like wild caught or something. Like field collected makes it sound very proper. Like I don't know why they say that about I've never heard it was wild caught for a Leachianus gecko or whatever. Like it's always
they
been
would say field collected.
Pinky out, field collected. But yeah, like I would love to own because there's still some live in collections. So they were field collecting these late 80s, but a lot happened in the early 90s there and stuff like that. So these geckos some of them are adults still. So these geckos are pushing, 40s, 50s and stuff like that in that range. It would just be kind of, because obviously that's having one of those in a collection, the window for that is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking by each day that goes by. It would just be kind of cool. That's how much I've geeked out about these guys and stuff there on that part of it. But back to your husbandry question. The humidity, I try to have it between like a 65, 75 range there, which is usually like us going through and spraying tubs every other day. For some tubs, and every day for like some of the enclosures and stuff like that, depending on how fast they dry out and stuff. More of our PVC stuff needs sprayed more frequently. I should look at like getting like a Miss King or something like that on that part, but that's more time for me to have to figure out how to put all these tubes together and do all this. And then what happens when I move my reptile room? Then they all have to move in conjunction or whatever. And you know what? The old-fashioned sprayer isn't hurting me right now. We're all right.
Yeah.
And so at my babies, I start them in like a 6-quart tote, which is like one of these guys. And they're usually in those until they hit about that. I like that 40 to 50 grams. I know that seems like it's a large gecko in there, but they thrive really well. They eat really well. The biggest thing for me in that first year or any time, but like getting babies, just like snakes, getting babies started, getting food, getting them to eat. And so that whenever their time is for them to go to a show or they go to their home, whether it's all online, that they're a nice, big, plump, and that they're like, oh, hey, that's food over there. I'm going to eat that. Oh, that's a rat. That's a mouse. I'm going to eat that thing because I know what that is. And so just trying to have quality animals in that part. So I tried to, the smaller the space is better. They enjoy that piece. Some people use paper towel. When ours are born, I actually throw them right. I grab a handful of bedding from our pre-mix stuff that we put together. I put that down, and then I put just a single piece of cork in there, and then I put a little bit of moss on top of the bedding, and then our little like food container holders and stuff for them on that part. Then I'll go through and mist it, and then gecko gets put in there. Once it leaves, like it's that 6-quart tote, it's going to go to like an 8x8x12 or like a 12x12x12 cube. And then I have some other totes that are probably 7x12x7 maybe on that part. And that just kind of varies. Like there's no rhyme or reason. It's kind of like, hey, this apartment's open. You want to move in here? Yep, you're going to move in here. And for the most part, they usually move from enclosure to closure just fine. I usually try to keep an eye though on the ones that I move. Like the first 2 feedings might not be the greatest. And by feedings, like we'll feed usually during the winter, it's probably every 4 to 5 days. During the spring till fall, it's probably closer to every 3 to 4 days. They just slow down and don't eat as frequently. And when we have roughly probably 130, 140 geckos, it's a lot of Pangea to throw. My first year, I obviously didn't have that many at that time, but like I was feeding like every 3 days because that's what I had been doing just when I was keeping them and stuff like that. And so I'm like, well, let's keep doing that. And I was still only like half ounce or like ounce and a half cups full of food. And I'm like, oh, that's not cost efficient. Like, okay, let's go to 4 days and see what that's like. And then obviously we travel a little bit for shows. And so like we fed the night before, because right now we still feed everything at one time. We're debating if we want to feed adults and then feed babies like the day after or vice versa. But when it's me, my wife, and my son, we can do it in about 40 minutes, which isn't too bad. But if it was just me, it takes me probably like 2.5 hours to feed everything because I like to pick it up and look at it. Oh, I'm going to take you to the photo box and take a picture of you real quick. Like,
every damn time.
On point. And so, then, yeah. Anywho, sorry, I get sidetracked from my own stories.
You're preaching to the choir, brother. I don't finish a sentence.
Yeah,
or a thought.
And so then, yeah. So we after the middle stage, depending on your Leachianus gecko, like where your snakes have morphs, you have defined different things in them. Your Leachianus gecko, it's more locality based. There's a couple more. There's melanistic, which is recessive. And then there's different parts of albino out there and hypomelanism and stuff, but it's nothing that's been repeatable over and over again. Like, so there's still a lot to the future of breeding Leachianus geckos as far as like finding out why these 2 albinos together aren't making albinos and they've been together and stuff like that, or why these 2 hypomelanistic geckos aren't making more like it's just really like I had a friend, he had this pair for I can't remember if he had it for a long time. He sold the pair. He had some eggs in his incubator. One baby hatched out pure white. He'd had that pair for I can't remember about that 5+ years. Never had. He sells the pair, has these eggs that are still hatching out. This white baby hatches out from that pairing. Never had one. Like so there's still a lot of adventure and
playing
things
to
that
do
could take place. So that's why I'm super excited still on the forefront. Like people may see like like lychees are obviously becoming more popular. You see them on a lot of different tables at shows and stuff, and prices have came down a little bit. But I think that just depends on what you're looking for at the time and that part of it. Like when I started on Morph Market, when I was looking at Leachianas geckos in 2019, I think there was like 55 to like 70 on there. And then a couple weeks ago when I looked, there was like just under 1,000. So
Whoa.
yeah, so I mean, which some people might see that as a bad thing. Maybe the original people or whoever, like, because now the pie is getting cut in more ways. But for me, I see it as I have to have more people enthused and more people excited and more people interested and know what these geckos are, instead of you coming up to my table and go, what's that? Why is it so expensive? Or whatever, and stuff like that.
Because I don't know how to duplicate it. I don't know how I got here. I don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
We're still figuring it out.
Yeah. And so I seeing these numbers rise, I think it's good. The biggest thing like I can advocate for is just educating those who are interested in breeding them and educating those that are interested in owning them. And like if you're just wanting to own a Leachianas gecko, cool, you can make that happen, no problem. But if like you want to own a Leachianas gecko with the dreams or thoughts and possibilities of like maybe breeding one day in the future, well, let me enlighten you on like processes and like making sure you find reputable people. If you think back about like before shed testing, like you bought hets from people, but you would tell people like you would only want to buy them from like people you trusted, because you could get sold something that's het normal. What's het normal? Okay, whatever. Or anyways, you could spend
daddy.
Yeah, exactly. You could spend 5 years trying to figure something out, and then you shed test that animal later once, like, oh well, that's not cool. And we all have heard bad stories of people have done silly things like that, and people suck. But for the most part, people are awesome. And so just educating people on that point, because Leachianas geckos, one lychee from another lychee, you can't tell them apart. Is it a Pine Island? Is it a Nuana? Is it a certain type of cross? Is it a high? Well, you could tell high color, but like some people get really big on the locality based of it, and think of like the 23andMe, where there's no testing right now. Like I've talked to Charlie a little bit. I've talked to Ben at RGI about what's the possibilities of ever being able to do something like that. The tricky part is whose collection do you go to then try to, like Steve Camelli at Leap and Lychee, he has, I would probably say he has all the localities. But what if somebody somewhere while they were field collecting, because we're human, put this gecko, which is supposed to go in tub A, accidentally in tub B, and then now you've diluted the whole thing, not on purpose, but on accident. So as much as I enjoy the pure aspect of it, I take it with a grain of salt. Like I'm not going to say, like, I have stuff that is pure in my collection. I redid a bunch of pairs this year because having pure things is attractive to other breeders. And then people that are coming up through the waves or ranks and knowledge of Leachianas geckos, and those are things they look for as well. So I want to have those on my table and stuff like that as well. But sometimes I feel people can take it a little too much, that like, man, who knows? Were you there?
Yeah.
Is it really that? Because you can go on a forum or a Facebook page of Leachianas geckos, and they're like, hey, post your Pine Island or post this or whatever. And you can look at them and you can see they should look pretty close to the same, a little bit like structurally wise, like different things in the face, or like Pine Islands, they shouldn't have any dots in their bars and stuff like that. It's just small things, but they all kind of look different. They all have a little, and I get it. Sorry, my dive deep.
No, I'm fascinated.
So that's that piece of it. So I was talking about bigger cages. So you could go like an 18-24 for a smaller Leachianas, which smaller I would say is between 10 to 12 inches. Is perfectly fine as an adult. Whereas like maybe a 1836 or a 24 by 36 or something like that, and it's a little bit bigger. You could do for like your GTs, where their GTs are going to be between 15 to 17 inches in size, and some of them being close to a pound in full weight. Yeah, so just kind of on that part of it. Your other question, breeding, that was your other one. So breeding
Well,
wise,
you did kind of answer it. It's like,
yeah.
do y'all pray to the odds gods, because it's all kind of completely
So I don't
insanely.
pray to the odds gods. I pray to like the Maury and Jerry Seinfeld gods, that when I put these two geckos together, that one of them hasn't done something that the other gecko doesn't approve of, and they're not going to whip the crap out of them. That's what I pray to.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
But because they can be aggressive in breeding. They are not like your snakes, where you can take your male and go and plug him through this whole row over a 2-week time period.
It's a one
My
and
pair,
done.
like all my pairs, they live together 24/7 all year round. Some people pull those apart, some people put them together. There are a couple people out there that do go cycling males, like they're nice high colored males or whatever. That just scares me right now. I'm not to the point to be able to be like, I would not financially recover from losing something like that if something bad happened. So I'm going to hold off on that one. But so the introduction process, there's several different ways you can do it. I guess like I've became advanced at this a little bit. Like I'm not like when I first, from how I originally started pairing geckos to how I do it now, like younger me would look at you and go, "You're a savage. I can't believe you do that."
Toot your own horn, Chris. Toot.
Right.
You go, queen. Go off, queen.
And so at first, like when you look it up or you look at things or you talk to some people, sometimes it's like you want to switch cork and you want to maybe switch them in enclosures, or you want to introduce like put one in a smaller enclosure and put it inside the bigger one enclosure and let them kind of like smell each other. I have some cages where they can marry in the middle, and I can have a screen there so they can interact, all that stuff, but not physically interact with each other on that part.
That's cool.
I did that probably the first couple years. And then talking to other breeders and just learning my geckos and honing in on my craft and stuff like that. Doing something more and more, you become more comfortable with it on that piece of it. And so me being at home, because I work from home, I homeschool our son and stuff like that. So it gave me, I felt like, well, I'm going to be at home. I could check on these theoretically at any time, at any point. I'm going to take out this like we trade, she trade type stuff, and we're gonna drop that. I do cool the room down, and usually that takes place between Thanksgiving and New Year's, basically, and then it warms back up. So during that cool down, I'll let them cool down the first like 2-3 weeks on their own, and then I'll start introducing pairs. I usually shoot for introducing the female into the male's cage, because usually the female, if there's gonna be a problem, it's gonna be her. She has to have an issue. And so far, like, I've had nothing crazy happen. Like I've had a friend, he's lost geckos and stuff like that from them just fighting and stuff like that, or like really like nasty injuries. I've had a couple like head things or whatever. They're very resilient and they heal really quick. They're kind of like, if you think of Wolverine, like how he heals really quick, they're very good at that.
That's cool.
Yeah. But the hard part is like, what's that thin line? Like, where's that line drawn? Like, is this too much, or is this too much, or is this too much of like, because I enjoy the animal. Like, yes, I breed reptiles for a living. I will say that I breed reptiles for some. I love my reptiles and make how I treat them any different. Because I enjoy them. I enjoy looking at their cages. I enjoy my other animals that I keep. because this hobby is absolutely amazing and animals are really dang cool. And it's crazy. You can keep so many cool different things on that part. But at the same time, like, this is my piece of the pie that I bring to my family, how I pay for things and support them in some aspects. So trying to figure out where do I draw this line and being respectful to said animals in that process is really important. And I don't take it lightly on that part. So like
What is the incubation? I mean, do they what is I mean, do they just chill with all? I mean, what is the incubation process?
So I found today, we found 8 eggs. Oh, what was that yesterday? Was it yesterday? Today?
Congrats.
Yesterday. I found 6 yesterday and 2 today. I found 2 literally right before I came on here. So going from ball python eggs to Leachianus eggs, it's like roughly like 90 days. Like, so it's 60 days to 90 days. And I thought that extra 30 days when I got my first clutch, because a clutch is either usually 2 eggs. Sometimes it's a disappointment in 1, but usually it's 2. Sometimes you get 2 and one's a good one and one's a dud. But in most cases, you usually get 2 eggs on that part. And depending on the locality, your smaller geckos are going to lay roughly between 5 to 8 times in a year. It's just like, I have a girl like last year before, I think she laid 10 times in a year. But she was a smaller gecko. But then like your bigger GTs and stuff like that, they may lay 2 to 4 times the whole year. And so then in your GT stuff, you see the price reflected because they're not produced as fast in that aspect of it. But then I would say your window is usually probably 75 days to 120 days before that egg hatches out.
Wow.
Depending on what temperatures you incubate at. You can incubate anywhere from as like I've seen and heard online like your high 60s all the way up until about 82, 83. My incubator sets at 81 because I'm a little female heavy, and it's not proven or like overly talked about in the community or anything like that. Like kind of like leopard geckos, you can influence a little bit higher male ratio with turning the temperature up on them. And so last year I played around with a little bit. I slowly increased my incubator. This year I'm going to run at the 81 section to see if that influences any higher males. Hopefully, I think last year we hatched like 89 or something, 89, 88, 84, something like that geckos from January of 2024 to December of 2024, that whole month. So that whole year we hatched out. I just collected 6 and a couple beforehand. Like when it turned 2025, I still probably had 15 or so eggs in the incubator that didn't hatch out from last year. But I only count ones that hatch out from the year cycle.
With what you said about how you can't just, put a male in, well, I get you mentioned you put the female goes in, you go to a same row. Your kind of ratio, like what ball python breeders, where like, you need one male and that'll do it for, XXX amount of females.
Right.
You're more like almost like 1 to 1.
1 to 1. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's cool.
Exactly. For every female I have, I basically got to have this other male over here on that part.
Interesting. Maybe
one day I get to the point like there's a couple people that I know that I don't personally know them, but I've seen them post about it or talk about it and stuff like that. That they move their male, like they've been doing this like for a really long time. So obviously their knowledge and comfortability and knowing their animals and what animal, like, because I have some animals that are together that they're best friends and they still produce and there's not a mark on their body. Like you could never tell that they're aggressive in one bit way.
Did those like start out at a younger age together, or they were like
so for like sexual maturity, breeding maturity, stuff like that. I'll introduce my smaller island stuff around that 3-year time frame. It just all kind of varies on like it's a vague answer because like depending if it's a Nuana or a Morrow or a Pine Island or this locality or that, like there's different weights and things that I'm looking at and checking for that they're going through. One thing I like to see sometimes is that they that sometimes they'll have an infertile clutch, which is good. That's it. Hey, cool. Like your like your organs and all that stuff are working well, that we're getting close. Like I've had a female, she's probably like 100 grams off from where she needed to be at weight, but she was a GT. She laid duds and I'm like, cool. Like that's good to see, but you're not at the weight where I want to introduce a male to you, where I think if I introduce a male now, like it wouldn't be good for you on that part of it. Because sometimes they do go off food in that process. And so I want to make sure that I get
This
you
is
to
like
where
your
you're supposed to be.
ultrasound process.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so,
I want to see the biggest one you got, and I want to see the smallest one you got.
okay. The
I'm
biggest one I
supposed to see
have
what you
with me-
got.
Show me
So
what you got.
I didn't bring up any pairs. I thought about it, and if I was gonna do it, I would have brought their whole tub up. And I was busy with a couple other things and didn't get to it.
That's okay. There's a follow-up. There will be a
Okay.
follow-up exam.
Okay.
Don't worry.
So this is probably the biggest one I have with me up here. Let me see. Maybe this guy here.
Oh, they're
too.
way bigger than I thought.
Oh, hold on.
So
Every
this
time
isn't
you
even
do
full,
this.
Make
this isn't
it
even full
big.
grown yet.
Wow. I love
Oh my
it.
gosh.
Yeah. So
Jump
So
out,
she-
fellas.
So she is a Yate. I purchased her from the Hampers. For anybody who gets on here later and watches this and is into geckos or knows of them, they
I'm
are
about to go down a black hole.
really big on this. But this is a Yate. Your Yate is considered one of your larger localities of this species. They're more of like the bulldog version. If you think of like beefy, chunky, like, yeah, I'm a badass. That's me.
Yeah.
That's them. Whereas our other friend here, he is another GT. He is a Troger. He's really light and pale, which I think is really cool. My son
Yeah.
named him Lemonhead.
Like that.
On that part. So these are probably
I've
the
never
two
seen
biggest
one like that.
geckos that I have up here. Oh, and don't exit out of this. That'd be interesting.
I love that they're just little jumpers, man.
They do. At times. Like, she's a little jumpy. I don't probably get her out enough as she is. Like, I have some that I get out quite frequently. She just kind of hangs out in her cage, and I want her to get big and beefy. So hopefully
Those
she can go
eyes
see her
are
boyfriend.
so pretty.
So she can go
The
see her
eyes are
boyfriend in
amazing.
probably 2 more years.
Man,
Their
I
eyes and their
would
feet are
walk
my two
right
favorite
past you in a field collection, girl. Oh,
Oh.
that's a rock.
Yeah, tell me about it. I reach into cages and tubs and like I'm looking for it. I'm like, well, I don't see it. Let me pick this up. Oh, my bad. My finger's on you. That's not the piece of cork. You blend in really well.
That is so cool.
Yeah. And so so she is she turns 2. She turned 2 last year. Ooh, her tub is not with me because it's down there. I believe she just turned 2 this last fall. So she has like 3 more years before she'll be a breeder size though. So like,
Wow.
yeah. And like, I mean, as
You
of
are a
today,
patient man.
well, I know. Well, so trying to think. Well, not in general. So full purchase, the most money I've spent on lychees, I bought a whole collection, and that was from Zach and Rose when they were busy, when they ran cages still, and they hooked me up on a really good deal there. But this gecko and her hopeful to be mate, which, like I said, hopeful because there's no guarantee that both of them are going to like each other, which would suck because then I would need to go find me a breeder size at that point. I pay it was like $5,600 or something as babies or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
What oh crap. Okay, I got you. Come on.
It's the dogs.
Female.
That's how this whole adventure started. We
sexual-
wanted a dog and we were too busy for a dog, and so we decided to get a reptile.
And
here
then
we are.
now you are way too busy to do anything else but reptile.
Yeah, I know, right? If someone would have
Oh,
told me when we got that bearded dragon, like, hey, this is gonna change your life, it's gonna do things for you, I would have been like, a bearded dragon changed my life? What is it, a genie? Ha,
it
answer
always
is
starts
yes.
with one.
right?
So
No.
a female's ready to go in based on what you just told me. If I'm hearing correctly, give or take, you're in the 5-year range. Is it the same for? No way, girlfriend. Is it the same for a male?
So correct. So that female, it's roughly 4 to 5 years for her. But she is a GT. She is the bigger end of your Leachianus gecko. I have
Okay.
other females that they've been ready to go in 3 years. They like I would say 2.5, and then I don't pair to the fall, and so that usually gets them to that 3 time point on that
So
part.
the larger
Her
of the locality, the
longer it takes for them to be mature. Her
Shane
her
lady,
soulmate,
she's
hopefully,
ain't 180. Her
he's
soulmate.
her soulmate, hopefully to be. Well, her name is Kraken. His name is Big Yeti. Big Yeti is living his best bachelor life right now. He is like 340 grams already. He is absolutely massive and has a girlfriend. And I'm hoping she's just a GTC cross, a big gecko. So I'm hoping that he wants to have some babies and help dad, pay off his debt a little bit
Word.
with the money I spent on him to make some
Come on.
babies now. And then later in life, Lady Luck's going to come through and he's going to find his forever home and they're going to fall in love and it'll be great. And we'll make some pure yachts. But until then, hopefully he enjoys himself and we have some cool little babies from him on that part.
That's so cool.
Let's see what do we got here.
It's a love story.
Yeah, right? Exactly. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. It's like Taylor Swift or something like that.
It's a love story. Leechy, just say yes.
Yes.
I'm trying to find. Did I bring a baby? Wish I would have brought a baby up here to go to something small right after that. Oh, this is close enough to a baby.
Because the eggs they look teeny tiny, man.
Let's see. This one's from November, so it is teeny tiny.
But still tiny.
Yeah.
It's so fast.
Man, I love the way that they just they stick to you.
Oh, they're grippy. I love it. It's the best.
Yeah.
You can stick them on there and he'd go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Stick them to things.
They're like little sugar glider lizards.
Yeah, they're like those little pencil things you put on your to make it more comfortable.
Yes.
They're like those little pencil hugger things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love the
They're
reference.
adorable. Their eyes are stunning.
Seriously, man. They're just little dinosaurs.
Oh, yes. They remind me of the Matthew Broderick Godzilla, when the little babies are in the egg, under Madison Square Garden. That's what I look when I see them. I'm like, oh, you're taking it back to my childhood.
Oh my God, I haven't thought about that movie in decades.
So that and Men in Black were my 2 favorite movies as a kid.
Respect.
Yeah. Some people were like, those are your favorite movies. Really?
Absolutely.
That Godzilla is still my favorite Godzilla out of all the Godzillas they made, but it's okay. Matthew Broderick got to play with earthworms and stuff like that, and it's cool. Let me see. Oh, here's my wife's favorite. It is one of her favorites. This is a Chahoua, or some people call it a Kahua.
And then some people call them Chewies.
Chewies is another term.
Chewies.
I think Kahua is technically the proper pronunciation of it. I like that it's not going to pick it up because my camera sucks on my laptop.
Your camera's doing good.
But above their eyelash, they have or above their eye, they have little eyelashes, kind of like your cresteds have that crest, have the little fringe,
like little horn thing.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
I think it's judging us.
Yeah.
Why don't you give me the stink eye?
Oh.
See ya.
Yep, I'm out of here, boss.
that thing is duded, bro.
They're such good jumpers. It's insane.
Yeah. What's
And
crazy?
they don't look like they're going to jump. They just like.
No.
Are they tree jumpers?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
The crazy part is like sometimes that freaks out like parents, or parents or a potential person who's going to get it. And I'm like, well, you get used to it. Like your brain is a marvelous like tool, and it begins to read and recognize what's taking place.
You can almost
And there's
expect
times that I've caught geckos not thinking about it. I'm like, oh, my mind goes, oh, it's jumping, and it goes and like it moved my hand up. I'm like, oh, I caught it. Like, and if it hits the ground, it's not really that bad because they're in trees sometimes 15, 20 feet up. Like,
Do they
it's
lose
down.
their tails?
Do they lose their tails? Yes, they can lose their tail. But not like are you familiar with like your cresteds? How like you can look at them and they can lose their own tail?
Yeah.
They're not on that level of like,
Okay.
oh, hey,
It takes some effort.
Yeah, it takes some effort. I've only had one non-adult lose its tail, and that was operator malfunction. We were closing back up the display, and its poor little tail got pinched on the thing, and it got scared. And I dropped it. I'm scared.
Oh.
And so
So
it
you-
felt really bad. And then I've had a couple others. I have a female. She's a tail eater. She eats her mate's tail. Yeah.
Kinky.
Don't be that person, okay?
Okay.
Like what in your bio? Eat tail. Yeah, that's me. This gecko is another one of our favorites here. This is Fozzie.
Oh wow, he's a thick old boy.
Yeah, and so this is what I would think of like if I wanted to give somebody like a classic look of like a Leachianus gecko. You have the nice barring, you have the dark hunter green color going with it. This is a very classical, typical looking gecko for a Leachianus. If this was something someone was like looking for, that's when someone comes to my table and like, hey, I'm interested in Leachianus geckos. I'm like, well, what are you looking for? Like, are you wanting size? Are you wanting color? Are you wanting something smaller? Is there a certain like hue of green you're looking for? Pattern marking, big bars, little bars, dots. That just kind of gives me an idea so I can quickly assess if that's something I have for them or if I need to refer them to a friend or whatever while I'm at a show.
That's really cool.
And then I can go through and like, oh, I'm looking for something that's kind of light but has some pink in it or something. We can go through and look at a few different things there and a few different things like that.
So when you say like bars, you're talking about like but this one has like spots as well. So this has got like
right?
a little bit of both.
Yeah. Yep. Because like sometimes you'll get like that first gecko I brought out. Where's she at? Come here. Oh, Kraken, where do you be?
It's so funny when we started out, I just remember thinking, oh my God, these seem so easy. And then he just like keeps going and I'm like, oh, I'm lost.
So like she has the dots that will slowly keep fading over time. They are more prevalent when she was younger, but you can see like these two geckos look completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then
are they soft? They always look like they feel soft.
Yes, they're soft. So obviously you can't touch them currently. But think of like kinetic sand. Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'll bring them closer for you. There you go.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris. So like kinetic sand.
Or like that like soft velvety type feel is what they feel like. They do have little claws because it allows them to hang on to things. But they also and there goes the big one again. They also have like little suction anything, like you can feel like the little suction from them. But the funny part is their claws all feel different from one another. Like some geckos don't scratch too much, but then I'll pick up one gecko and I'm like, man, you are super scratchy. Get off of me. I'm putting you away. Like I don't want you on my skin. You kind of hurt.
Man.
So I'm pretty sure these geckos are like a month apart. Like I think this one was born at the beginning of August of 23, and this one was born at the end of August in 23. And just
the big one is what you said, GT something?
It's a GT. To be more precise, it's a Yate is the locality. One of the ones. And this little one here is just a little GT Cross. Has some new on and stuff like that in her. But
Have
yeah,
you bred one that is like, ball python people were like, yeah, it's the world's first. Have you done something like that? Because what you're telling me is just like, none of them are the freaking same, man.
okay. So you want to see something cool? All right.
I think
Show
it's
me
all
your,
cool.
show me
I
your
knew this
lychee.
moment might come. So let's find these cool geckos that I like, and we'll go here, and here.
Are their
So
eggs just like this big
I'll start.
when
Do
they
what
come
now?
out? Are they
Oh,
like
they're
in comparison to like a leopard gecko egg or something like
um,
bigger?
they're I would say like they're about the same size as leopard gecko egg, but
Yeah,
like
they look teeny.
yeah, like when they hatch out, they're like anywhere between like 6 to 10 grams when they're born. Yeah.
See, and they
What's your
jump
smallest?
even at that small, right? Like,
Yeah.
so you have these little
Oh,
tiny jumping things.
oh,
Right.
I'd be terrified. I'd
So
lose it.
this one here is a one
Wow.
of one. This is a one of one for me. The mom and dad aren't together anymore. Uh,
Oh,
not for violent
divorce.
reasons, for them being mean. More for the fact that I felt they became best friends and didn't want to do anything else. And
Aw.
so I'm like, well, it ain't gonna work. Let's move you around a little bit. But I
That's
really
so cute.
like this one. Like when it fires up, it's like if you think of like the cherry blossom trees, it's kind of like the reddish pink color that you get from it.
Yeah.
And then I like the coverage. Like there's more barring space going on than there is like the green back going on. I would love to like eliminate more of that. So very interesting, and we'll be very picky about like the next gecko because like think of bearded dragon like it's got more face. Where I'm thinking locality, and for this one, its locality is it's a bayonnaise, and then it's
Oh, I
a
love mayonnaise.
so wait, so like okay, sorry. So you love like real talk, you love mayonnaise?
Who doesn't, dude?
Well, do you
Yeah.
like the Miracle Whip or mayonnaise?
I mean, I'm down with them both, but I mean, mayo
Okay,
is my day one, I guess.
so if you're going to store to pick up one jar of mayo, what jar of mayo would you pick up then?
Hellman's, baby.
Okay, I can rock with that. I'm more of a Duke's person, but Hellman's is good.
Okay, I'll take Dukes in a pinch. I'll take Dukes in a
Yeah.
pinch.
Okay, and I miss a Cool Whip or Cool Whip. Hilarious. I miss with what? Oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for?
Miracle Whip.
Miracle Whip.
There we go. Hilarious. And then
And
these next two are siblings. They are just born a month apart.
Man, I bet whenever you go to your little farmers markets and all that stuff, man, you are so knowledgeable and you have so much information on stuff that like no one's ever heard of. And I'm in the damn reptile industry and I don't know shit about these things.
That's funny. Well, thank you.
They're
Yeah, no,
awesome.
I enjoy. It's a lot of fun, and I have the gift of gab also, so that doesn't hurt any there on that part.
Me too. Me too.
So being able to be approachable and be able to share things and relate and draw people in on that part is such
I'm sucked in. I'm sucked in.
lucky
Mhm.
benefit and stuff on that part. So this one here is probably from this pairing. This is Uni. This one doesn't have a name. This
See,
is named
he
Uni.
looks like the last one a little bit to me.
Mhm.
A little bit, yeah. I would definitely agree with that. Just obviously the camera's not picking. I would say his reds are a little bit deeper than the other one, and this one's just fired down. So geckos fire up and fire down. I tried to go through and spray stuff today to like try to have it as well fired up as I could to show you because it's always cool seeing a fired up gecko, and
Fired up.
none of this stuff ever comes across as clear on the interwebs as it does in person. But yeah, both of these guys
I think it's
have the
cool.
same mom and dad. So they are from Bowser and K-Ron. Are the mom. This one doesn't have a name. It'll probably end up being a keeper just because I priced it too high at the table. And that's okay with me. I'm not going to be mad at that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be mad if somebody wants to pay me and make me a good deal on it too. So,
How much is that
that's
one
cool.
currently for sale for? I need to know prices here.
Oh, price. Oh, that's so okay. So this one on the table I have for I want to say it's like 2,500 on the table. Yeah,
That is so freaking cool. Good for you,
but
Chris.
all sorts of different like. But the crazy part about it is like, all right, I think I've had 10 of those. I've had 10 of those babies so far. This KB line. I've sold 2 of them, and not at like not like they were babies, and I did one at a show special, and then worked a deal out, and then I traded with a friend that when I first got into lychees, he was like a person who had them. I traded some geckos with him for some geckos of his to do a future project and stuff like that. And this is one of the geckos I traded with my friend Bob over at JBI.
I think these might be my favorite. The little,
So,
the pink. Of course, it's because it's pink.
right. Yeah, no. The cool thing about these, you don't have to raise any rats or ASFs or anything, roaches, insects. You just feed Pangea or Rapashi. That's all I feed to these guys. So that
A little
makes it
sprinkle
super
of
nice.
the old Rapash.
Yep. That makes it nice and simple, although I do have snakes, so I still have to feed rats and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Chris,
Let's
I have
see.
decided I need you to write a children's book.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I need you to
dude.
have the geckos be the feature, and the way you talk about them, it would be the cutest darn book that I've ever read.
Hilarious.
You and your wife need to work on that.
that's funny. I would love to do that. That could be an
Seriously.
adventure. I have
Great
a couple.
idea.
I don't know how. Like I saw, like your timestamp is like usually an hour. I know we're a little bit over it. I have a couple odd things I'd like to share with you. Is that okay?
We want to see the odd things. Yes.
They
Sweet.
love all
legs
things.
or no legs?
No legs.
No legs. All right.
And
we'll go
legs?
No legs first.
Can we go?
We'll get
we
those.
can see all
Yeah.
of it, though. Okay, good.
Yeah, you'll see all of it. I just didn't know where we wanted to go next. I figured
My
no legs.
indecisiveness is legs and no legs.
I want to
That's
see
usually
it.
how I. That's usually how I start. Like my birthday parties, I ask the birthday kid, I'm like, "Do you want to see something that has legs or has no legs?" And I go from there.
Both.
Exactly.
He's got no teeth.
Right,
No
but-
teeth. You want to see no teeth?
Oh my god, there's a
Let's
catastrophic thing happening on the outside of the door. I'll be right back. 2 seconds.
Okay. I could
So
totally
this
see a
year-
children's book in your future.
I've never thought about that before. I think it'd be fun. I'd be fun. Like maybe I could get like Addie or Noah to like illustrate it or something like that. I think that would be kind of cool on that aspect of it. But so
I think it would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'd buy one
Aw.
or 10.
So she's kind of longer. This is Peaches.
Hi, Peaches.
Yeah, she's our what is she? She's a pearl. So she's a hypo albino Burmese.
Look at her.
Got her when she was almost a year, but when I say almost a year, by no means was she like being fed. Like she was being more maintained fed on that part. And
Peaches.
yeah, Peaches.
No.
I ran back
Yeah.
to see Peaches.
Let's see real quick. Let's not go in reverse here real quick.
Oh, yeah, no, Peaches. Come back, Peaches.
Yeah,
I
we
love
just
when
got
that
this nifty
happens.
chair here where we're making our home here. So
Oh,
Yeah.
Peaches.
yeah. Anyways, we'll stay here. We'll stay focused here. It took me a little bit to get her to eat. As I first asked the person, I'm like, hey, what are you feeding her when I got her? Because I do educational programs. I wanted to start with I wanted to get a big snake and grow it up so then I could read his personality.
Yeah.
When people found out I was doing educational presentations, some people were like, oh, well, I have this 12-foot retic or this blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, that's all cool and dandy, but man, I don't know your snake.
Yeah.
I want to be able to, get my little snake reading mind on and enjoy
Yeah.
it and know like, hey, you're comfortable. I know your cues. Let's keep doing that then.
Yes, I know what pisses you off.
yeah, I know when you're not happy, and
Yeah.
yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna buy younger snakes and just grow them up, and yeah, I might take a berm to a birthday party, and it might be 3 feet at the time, but eventually one day I'll take that berm to a party, and it's gonna be 10 foot.
Yeah.
So uh, she, I had her for 2 months. I still hadn't got her to eat. Saw the guy again at a show, and he told me this time he was feeding it large mice. So then I had to scent my rats with mice to get them to eat. But after that, eating is not a problem for her anymore. So
She's pretty.
Good girl.
yeah, she's super fun. Yep.
Man, I want a big snake.
That's
Nikki,
the
do you
other
have
thing.
anything
So,
big?
like moving
Yeah.
wise, I'll need to.
That's right. That's right. Sorry, I
I'll need
forgot.
to look at places that are comfortable to set up.
Just get rid of the whole chair. The chair.
Yeah,
keep
give her
the
the
chair,
chair,
Peaches.
Chris.
She gets the chair. I'm gonna get you a new one.
Keep the chair,
Peaches,
Peaches.
that one's yours.
Yep. And maybe when I'm done, she'll be done with the chair. I did learn a lesson that I won't use this chair. I'll bring the chair up from downstairs.
That
See what
chair
happens?
just looks like a jungle gym waiting to happen for them, I guess.
Yeah.
You had me get something out with no legs, and that happened.
I'm sorry.
No,
that
it's
was my
okay.
fault.
That was
I should have said legs.
No, you're good. We're gonna go no legs again.
Heck yeah.
So
Oh,
this
no.
one doesn't have a name yet. I need to do a little better job of spending time and it's been cold lately. I like to take my snakes outside to work with them and stuff like that. I could bring it upstairs and sit on the couch on that part of it. I just need to be a better time devoter and make some more time for this lovely snake because it is super nice and super cool. Because I would like it to go to programs, stuff with us. But this friend here is our green anaconda.
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's going to be a
keep you
big
away from
baby.
my face, though.
Hoot. Get
So
the
this is a
swimming
male,
pool ready.
right? So this is the male. I'm hoping. Ooh, that could have been bad. Ooh.
You're going to Mardi Gras.
Yeah, but
Please
yeah.
don't bite Chris.
He's
Yeah.
beautiful.
We like him.
We do. Save him.
Stop looking at Chris like that, green anaconda.
I know.
Yeah, he can go away now, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a
I
little
like him,
more.
Chris.
He's
Yeah.
gorgeous, Chris.
You're
Put him
so
away.
brave. Put him away. Put the lid on.
I would have lost my shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Like I said,
They're so shiny.
Seriously.
he's super like watching him like lay in his water and like definitely seeing how like their eyes are more on the top of their head and they just kind of sit there. He's a little stubborn in the fact that he enjoys a lot of chicken. So I luckily that there's a place near where I can pick that up really simple. And so we're still working on trying to get him to switch from that to rodents because me and my friend breed rodents, so that'd just be way more easier.
It would be
And I
just
kinda-
nice.
Yeah. And sometimes we have an abundance of like medium and large rats that need to go, and that would be a great belly for it to go in.
Yeah, for
On
sure.
that part. And then where did the other one go?
I feel like when you name him, he needs a name that kind of shows how he has
Just
his own
almost took
personality.
your face off.
Yeah. That
Is
would
what
have
she
been
meant
great.
to
Like,
say. Personality.
so when I kept
Bless
snakes,
heart.
like a lot of ball pythons at the time, people, are you scared they're gonna bite you and blah blah blah? Well, first off, the ones that are gonna bite me, I put those at my shins because I'm not getting bit in the face because that's gonna suck.
Yeah.
I'm not like you because we've all seen the videos of someone reaching up here and trying. Oh, it's the snake, or it's right here and it's laughing.
Nikki.
Like, dude, that's my face. Like
Because I'm
this
short,
is-
place.
this
And
is
I
the
know,
money.
babe. I know.
This is the money. I can't have the money getting hurt. And so the shins, I can wear jeans or khakis or sweats or whatever and be like, whatever. And so I've never been bit by like even a big bull python. Like I've been by babies. I've been bit by maybe a juvenile.
you're so
but I've
lucky.
never like been bit by a bigger snake. So if that moment would have happened there, that would have happened on camera, that just would have been like, holy crap.
Well, it almost happened. So
And then
That was pretty. Hit him with the whoa.
Oh, dude, they like he's done it a few times when I've held him and stuff like that. Obviously, I've standing up. I feel like I can move a little bit better and kind of have a protected position. How fast they strike is absolutely ridiculous.
Wasn't ready for it.
Like
No.
it's not even like a load. It's just boop, I'm going. Yeah. So this little friend, this is Geo.
Here. Hi,
He
Geo.
is a rhino iguana.
Oh, he's cool. Oh, he's
Yeah.
so cute. Oh, I want to scratch him right here. I want to hit him right in his third
there?
chin.
there?
Yes.
Yeah, I got that for you.
Geo.
Look
Yeah,
at you.
Geo.
Rhino.
Because and it's super cool. That's our next project we're working on, our rhino iguanas.
He's rad, man.
Yeah, no, super cool.
Look at his
He's
back.
so pretty.
So stripes.
If I can.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Geo's a sweetie pants.
Yeah, just trying to that next element to have on the table. I feel like we've done really well with Leachianus geckos and the care and all that stuff. What's another piece that we can have that we enjoy that isn't maybe as commonly worked with? Obviously, selling something like this takes a certain type of person, but I think that's okay on that part of it.
I love those back legs, man. He's got like a wingspan back there. That's so cool.
He's so chill.
He's dude. I would watch TV with Geo.
He's pretty
The
chill.
show.
Like he likes to get out, and we try to work with him a lot. And just at this age, we have other ones downstairs too that are babies and stuff, and they're not as chill as him. He is definitely like cool customer, like from day one.
Yeah,
which has been a blessing on that part. So
and he
it
just
happens.
is like he's always wearing a smile. Look at him. Nikki, I think if you were a lizard, it'd be that.
I'd be a rhino iguana.
Yeah,
That's funny.
He does look pretty happy.
he's so cute.
Chilling,
I'll take it.
living his best life. Yeah. Oh, and then I have one more friend that I want to share with you guys. And then
I love all your
you can
friends.
Kick me off. You can ask me any questions. I love questions. Those are always fun. We can laugh.
I like that Lace said I'd be a rhino iguana and not the other lizard that ate its mate's tail off. Thank you, Lace.
I don't see you eating Kurt's tail. Well, maybe.
No, it's good.
It's a blaster.
That's
What's the line?
oh, I can't even remember. I'm so foggy.
Blaster. At first, I thought he was saying pasta, and then it made me hungry.
I tried to get him to do the part where what does he say at the beginning? The brother says, "Oh, honey," or something like that. Oh God, it was so good.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Whoa.
A dinosaur.
Yeah, a little baby dino. Yeah.
I'm not gonna make a wiener joke. I'm not gonna make a wiener joke.
It's okay. Our best friends that live local to us, so long story short, if you scroll back to my
I like
Instagram,
what you did there.
I know, right? I paused and I had to go back and explain because my man Arlie, he needs some love too. So this guy's unnamed at the moment.
Woody
been
Johnson.
struggling to find a name. I had a black dragon previously. His name was Arlie. He was about 3.5. We got back from fall Tinley, and I found him in his enclosure non-responsive.
Oh.
And I was super crushed. At the time, he was probably like most expensive individual animal I had bought. And so I was super sad about that. And his cage is literally like in our front room. He lived in our front room. Like, so I got him about this size when I first got him. And the first 90 days or so, I had him out of his cage or interacted with him for probably 75 of those or so. So building that bond, that relationship that he could trust me and stuff like that was really important. And he passed, and I was kind of crushed about it. But some cool friends the reptile hobby's full of cool people, and some cool people kind of surprised me and made some stuff happen. And we are starting another journey with our friend here. And I've been trying to look up names that mean like friendship or family or something like that, and maybe like a different language, and maybe his name will be that, just because how he came into our life is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
Yeah. So
I
we
love
have
him.
this.
He's really cool.
Yeah.
He
Super cool, super tamed down, stuff like that. Like, yeah, no, it's absolutely
is
fun.
He's
super
like greenish black. He's really cool.
Yeah. So, yep. And
He's very handsome.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Now he's
What
ready
is-
to move.
What a really cool, special, significant animal. Oh, look at him.
me?
I
You
mean, before
said
I
me?
knew that story, I was going to say you should name him 4.
I like that. That's a good name too. Maybe I'll save that for a like. That could possibly be a good
Foreskin.
gecko name. Or oh, you said 4? Oh, I thought you said Thor.
I'm sorry.
Hilarious.
I have to talk about, I have to make a wiener joke.
Hey, I did join the Bald Breeders Club this
Good job.
weekend. in Atlanta.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yep.
What a
When
journey.
they hit me with that, I said, "What'd you say?" I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm. There's shirts. You could have a
No.
shirt.
Oh, I should get a shirt.
It's going to turn into
Yeah.
a Patreon. it's going to be
Bosa
a
had-
thing.
Bosa
That's
has
like,
the shirts. In fact, I think his Instagram picture
Does it?
is him wearing
That's
one of those
funny.
shirts
I'll-
today. Maybe it
I'll
was
have to go
yesterday.
find that.
There
I'll
you
have to
go.
message Wiz. There's also another shirt that's along those same lines. It's for like the certain type of. I'll go find it and I'll send it to you on Instagram because it's a blood python, but it's the ones that are black. It's like a Curtis or something like that, and so it's like I think it's like Big Black Curtis or something like that, but it's like the black blood python on it. Oh,
Great.
it's great, absolutely great. I'll find the picture. Like the friend that I know, I don't know if she made the shirt or if she like just bought it on Shopify or buys them or whatever. Next time she has one, I want to buy one. But I took a picture with her. We took a picture
Oh my
together,
gosh.
and she had that shirt on. I'm like, this is the best ever.
That's so good. That's too good.
Yeah,
I love him.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
He's awesome.
yeah. Hopefully that was informative and fun and exciting.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Heck yeah. Hopefully next time that we see you on the follow-up exam, you've written your children's book.
Yeah. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some. Hey, show me some. Show me some. Show me some.